And here I'm just going to use some Mr. Leveling Thinner just to clean up the Mr. Surfacer that I applied to the hatches on either side of the fuselage. Now the fit of the hatches isn't the best, however it's not that bad either. So all I'll do is just literally gently let the Mr. Surfacer, sorry, the leveling thinners just work its magic just to take off the excess Mr. Surfacer. Then when I come to give her a primer coat shortly, all this lot will disappear and I'll just be left with a nice clean seam. When trying to remove the excess Mr. Surfacer, if you work at 45 degrees to the actual seam line itself, you'll find it's gives you a much better finish. And here you can see I just used some white glue just to tack the door on, the cockpit entry door that I cut off earlier, just to aid in the masking process. So what I'll do is I'm going to spray up the canopy now, black for the interior, then I can attach that, let it go off, then I can mask off the canopy area, and then we can look at spraying some primer, letting that dry, giving it a light sand back just to show any more work if need be, and then we can look at applying the final colours. So yeah, it's starting to come along now. Quite happy with the progress we're making. Okay, and all we're going to do here is just spray some XF69 NATO Black to act as the interior colour. Now, I'm not too concerned about overspray because I can easily clean any other spray up. And to be honest with you, I shouldn't have any anyway because I'm spraying away from the interior, if that makes sense. Well, I'm not spraying directly onto it, I'm spraying away from it. Therefore, I shouldn't in theory get any kind of overspray. But that's a theory anyway. If I do get some, it's not the end of the world. It's a nice easily clean up. Just spray the NATO Black. Lovely, and you can see there's no overspray in there at all. As I said yesterday, if there is any, it's really not the end of the world. Just use a sharp toothpick, moisten it with some water, nice steady hand, nice and gentle, and you can easily remove any excess paint or any overspray. Then what I can do there is I'll let that dry, and then I'll just go over with some XF69 just on the exposed bits, just to give it a bit of colour. Then we can attach the canopy, and then we can mask it off, and then we can look at applying some Mr. Surfacer 1200 as a primer coat. We can see where we are. Well, I've given her a coat of Mr. Surfacer 1200, and initially I thought, wow, this is quite good. The seams seem to have disappeared. On the top, as you can see, yeah, not too bad. Got a nice smooth finish. There's a few little cleanups here and there that need sorting out, but not too bad. There's a little blemish on the cowling here, but yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. But when I turn it over, it tells a different story. I'm not sure if you can see, there's a very ugly seam here. You get it on every Spitfire model, where I've joined the wing to the fuselage. It's awful. It looks like I've slapped on a load of filler and just walked away from it, so I can't live with that. That needs to be sorted. There's a small blemish there, and more worryingly, there's actually an actual ghost seam. I don't know if you can see it, just along the underside of the cowling, so that needs to be dealt with as well. Like with everything in modelling, it's not the end of the world. It's a bit of an annoyance, but it just goes to show you should always give your models a primer coat just to show any blemishes. And yeah, there are one or two areas on here that require a little bit of cleanup. To be honest, it won't take me long, but it is just annoying when you think that you've done a good job of creating the best finish that you can. I'm looking at it now, actually, on the wing root. I can see, I don't know if you can see there, there's still some work to be done on there too, but not to worry. I'll give it a light sand, clean up those seams, and then we can get on and start giving her RAF camouflage. Okay, it's been 24 hours since I noticed those seams along the cowling, the wing root, underneath the rear fuselage and the front of the cowling. So I added some Mr. Surfacer 500, that's the thicker variant of the thicker version, and what I'll do now, I'll grab a sanding stick and I'll just slightly sand where those blemishes were. Now hopefully Mr. Surfacer 500 has done the trick. Just sand nice and gently, let the sanding stick do the work. This is a Flory skinny stick, and it's a fairly old Flory skinny stick, so I don't want it to hack away at the plastic again, or the primer. I just want to slowly sand it back to give me that nice clean finish that I'm after. It's going to take a little while, but a bit of perseverance, and I should, in theory, wind up with a great little finish. A good tool for this kind of work is a flexi file. It takes to the contour of the plastic very well. This is a medium sanding strip, and you just gently sand away. As I say, not applying any real pressure. Let this do the work, and hopefully, eventually, I'll be left with a finish where there's no seam. Well, that's the plan anyway. And now I'm actually happy with the seams. That took me literally about 10 minutes of work. What I'll do, I'm going to go over it, give it a light sanding with this 3M ultra fine sanding sponge. Now it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a very fine sanding sponge, but it'll allow me to sand the surface of the models, give a nice smooth finish, get rid of any blemishes, without actually eliminating of the detail. It's not too expensive. Again, I got this off of a certain auction site, but it does the job really, really well. And all I'm going to do is literally just go over the whole model and just give it a very light polish, nothing more. I'm not trying to sand off the primer. It's just literally just to give the, like I say, the surface a nice polish. And once this is done, I'll look at applying the first coat of paint, which is always very exciting. It's probably my favourite part. Okay, so I've given it a rub down with the sanding sponge, and I've got to say the finish is silky smooth. It's a finish you always get when you use Mr. Surfacer 1200. It's really nice. So my plan of action now is I'm going to give it a wipe down with a damp cloth just to get rid of any dust and residue and clean out any of the panel lines. And then I'm going to give it its first coat of medium C grade 2 RAF XF83. Now obviously this is a Tamiya colour, and I believe this was first introduced when they released their 1/32 scale Mk.XVIII Spitfire about 8-9 years ago. So I've got the medium sea grey XF83, I've got XF82, which is the ocean grey, and also XF81, which is the RAF green. So those are my three colours of choice. So I'm going to go away now, so clean it off. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to spray the interior of these radiators with the medium sea grey XF83, and then I can attach them, clean them up, attach them, and spray the underneath in earnest. So I'll see you guys later. Well, that's the end of part 4, and I've got to be honest, I didn't think there would be a part 4 going into part 5, but the cleanup itself has taken me slightly longer than I anticipated. The seams haven't been awkward, it's just they haven't been where I want them to be, so I've spent a bit more time. Still not perfect. I've given it its first coat of RAF medium sea grey, what's that, XF83 from the Tamiya range, and it's gone on very well, but I'll let that dry, I'll let it shrink back tomorrow. I'll reassess it, do any more tidy up that I need to do. Once I'm happy with that, I'll mask it off and give it its first coat of XF82, which is the ocean grey, the Tamiya colour, quite a nice colour actually. Give it a coat of that, let it dry, reassess the seams once again. Once I'm happy with that, I'll mask it off. I'll use the worm method using blue tack and masking tape. So I'll use that method, I'll show that, and then I'll give it its final coat of RAF dark green, which is XF81, and hopefully by the end of the week, or certainly by the start of next week, I'm going to be at a stage where I can actually start decaling and really getting this model put to bed. So I don't want to drag it out. So I like to start another project, and I want to do some work on that Typhoon, which I think will be really quite exciting. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I've taken enough of your time. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Cheers now. Bye bye.